One of the most common questions we get asked is about watering chillies, and it's also possibly the area where most people make more mistakes than others. It's something that I think the best thing to do is just not panic about it. People get very, very worried about plants drying out in general, and chillies in particular. If you want a nice hot chilli with a really good flavour, there's something that actually benefits from drying out. So as an example, just over here, this plant here is just starting to wilt. Soil's dry, in fact it's very dry on the surface. It won't be underneath, it will carry some moisture underneath, but that we're not worried about at all. Now obviously we've got a greenhouse here with over 100 different varieties, and probably about 600-700, maybe even 1,000 plants in here, so they're all going to dry out at very different times. But that's something we're not worried about at all. And in fact, we will often let chillies wilt. It helps a massive amount with the flavour and the heat. Don't panic about it. People get really, really worried about it. It's the same with most plants. I think, I've got no statistics to back this up at all, but I think the majority of plants die from overwatering than underwatering. Because certainly the stories we hear are people are watering more and more. We often get asked, how often should I water something? And you really can't do that. You can't actually tell. You water it when they need watering, which sounds like a bit of a cop-out, which to be honest it probably is very, very slightly. But get used to feeling the compost. Chillies are a bit special in much as we want them to dry out so we get a hotter, better quality fruit. But with other plants, get used to feeling the compost. And if it's moist, and certainly if you press your finger in the compost and it's really, really wet, just don't water it. Don't get in the habit of watering every very single day. You can get fancy drip irrigation and stuff like that. That's a bit different. But just don't get into that habit. Water when a plant needs it. And get used to looking at that and looking at a plant and thinking, that's wilting slightly, it's going to need watering soon. But we probably won't water that maybe till tomorrow, and it won't be any the worse for it. So yeah, with chillies, dry them out a little bit, you'll get a hotter and better flavoured fruit.